All right, so welcome to our third school improvement team meeting of the year at Walt Disney Elementary. In this meeting, we just finished the halfway mark. We're entering the second semester. We wanted to circle back to the goals that we said we were going to address for the building and make our body of work for this year. And we wanted to provide our parents, family members, and community with an update of the progress we are making towards our stated building goals. So today we plan to present in 10 to 15 minutes a presentation on our progress, especially through the lens of our building pillars. If you remember, we have 3 pillars that we build our school improvement plan around: family and community engagement, DEI and restorative practices. DEI stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion, and access to rigorous instruction. And then at the end of the presentation, we'll have some time for Q&A and to receive any feedback from people on the call, if you have any ideas that you'd like us to consider for the second semester. All right, so here are our building goals. These are the pillars that we use. And we try to use this visual every time that we have a conversation like this to anchor ourselves in that these are the 3 things that hold up our building and that support our school. And then the green circles on the outside of the visual are obviously all of the stakeholders that go into making Walt Disney Elementary the awesome educational institution that we are. So families and community members, our school staff, and our students. Mr. T?
All right. In the area of family and community engagement, our accomplishments for the year so far, increased PTO participation, just rebuilding the PTO really and getting more parents involved in that has been a work in progress, and I think we're doing pretty well there. Increase access to SIT meetings by sharing these recordings as Dr. Z shares out in the newsletters when he puts those out. Those recordings are there, so to anyone that can't attend and be here can hear what we're talking about. Again, talking about school-based volunteers, just inviting people back into the building after COVID. With the restrictions on who can be in the building, our teachers are definitely running with that of finding different opportunities to get parents to come in to join activities in the classroom. There was a couple, kindergarten did some things decorating before the holidays. 2nd grade had a gingerbread house activity with families, which went really well. So we're really excited to have people back in the building. It's social media engagement of just posting information, pictures from the week and things like that. We've seen an increase in just social media engagement compared to the last couple of years. New online school store for apparel, different Disney dragon themed shirts and apparel that's there now. That started, I think, right before Thanksgiving. It went live. Again, the Disney Digest sharing out the monthly newsletter, getting over 1,000 views when it goes out. And then our 2 big events so far, Fall Fest happened, over 500 attendees for that. And then Bingo Night is tomorrow night, 5:30 to 7:30. Walk-ins are welcome. You have about over 200 people have RSVP'd for that total. So really cool there. It's from a community engagement piece, not just with families, with both of those events, of our staff really working to, and even some parents working to get our community partners involved. Fall Fest, we had, police and fire, the credit union, Gates Library, all sorts of different groups. And for Bingo Night, some of the prizes that we've gotten from local businesses, the different types of gift cards have been amazing. The number of businesses in the area just willing to donate and provide that for our families to have access to for tomorrow night for some prizes. So really cool prizes, get the word out. And then I know Dr. Z worked with our coordinator PR, just the director of PR, around redesigning the website. So if you go to the Disney website, it's a lot easier to click around than it used to be. Really trying to make that more user friendly. And then around, just again working with the PTO, develop a long range strategic plan for the PTO of from financing, communicating, looking for volunteers, just really working on that for the rest of the year. So that's family and community engagement. And some pictures there from Fall Fest. Again, it was the excitement from the students, families, just being able to get together like that in such a large number of people. I think the building families were really like, it's something people were looking for because just the excitement that was there from that event. So hopefully see the same excitement tomorrow. One of the other pillars, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and restorative practices. Again, around this, the main focus really for the fall was restorative practices, but sending out a staff survey just to see where our staff were comfortable with understanding restorative circles, community circles, and even from the diversity and equity and inclusion pieces that the district's working on, just to give Dr. Z and myself a place of where are we starting from. So this year with circles, we focused on a monthly common learning experience for staff where we would work at a faculty meeting and we would then break up into smaller groups by grade level and work on our own circles to build our practice of experiencing it. And we had teamed up a classroom teacher with another staff member in the building to work on engaging students in those circles, but we worked in those same groups as a staff. So we had that experience together and having discussions to really just build up people's comfort level with that. And again, those every month we worked on a scope and sequence, just aligning. Here's this month's circles. Here's the topics. Grade levels, they shift a little bit and become a little more, the questions for each grade level become a little higher level thinking going on, but following a similar theme in every grade level. And every teacher is working through those circles and those 3 to 4 questions every month. And a lot of work from Mrs. Pika in aligning that this year for us. Again, the building pairs were established, and again, it's gone really well. And circles are happening in some cases daily in some places, but as teachers' comfort levels grow, I think we're seeing more and more of that happening. And then to share out to our staff as well around students' experience with it. We worked on creating a video of students sharing their perspectives on these circles and what they take away from it to share with staff to show that this is why we're doing the work. Our students are responding to it. And for the rest of the school year, we're working on really unpacking and giving our teachers time to look at the New York State CRSE framework and CRSE culturally responsive and sustaining education framework, really focused on, again, the diversity, equity, inclusion piece of this. So we're going to be really going through that framework and how it pertains to the classroom in the next couple months, and then really making, again, a connection back to the building circles around where that framework ties into that, some of that work to really connect this back. So again, it's been a lot of work and it's been exciting to see it actually playing out in the classrooms. Again, here just some pictures of, again, students engaging in a circle just on their own during snack time, just having a conversation. And then a snapshot from the video that Dr. Z facilitated, where our 4th and 5th graders shared their perspectives of a circle with staff, and again, set up in a circle so staff could again see that process play out there.
Yeah, and the only point I'll make before we transition to our third and final pillar is it's been really cool to see the student buy-in in addition to the staff buy-in to this, like a forum to have conversations and a forum to get to know one another. You know, I don't think it's a secret. School hasn't changed that much, that sometimes kids get sent to the office because of the choices that they make, right? And having a framework and having these norms and having these protocols of, hey, we have to circle up, we have to talk this out, only the person with the stick talks. Let's get to the bottom of what was your perspective? What was your experience? What could you do better next time? How did you affect so-and-so? Those are the lines of questionings that Mr. Tavaleris and I take when we do need to counsel students and work with them to reflect on their behavior and the choices that they're making in school. And just creating a larger scale system and supporting our classroom teachers with implementing this larger scale system, we've seen a lot of deep thought and reflection on part of all of our students. And if you look at our quote unquote conduct data for the year, it looks like this, right? We have a spike. It wasn't bad, but we had a spike in October. And since October, we've been trending down as the norms, the routines, the expectations, and that feeling of welcoming and belonging in the school, and that we all contribute to the atmosphere in the school does result in, better management for lack of a better word. So we're really proud of the work that we've done this fall with this, and we definitely have some data to back up. I just gave you an example of student conduct referrals, that this is having an impact on the day-to-day operations of our building. Our third and final pillar is access to rigorous instruction. And so this is what we're focused on in terms of curriculum, instruction, and assessments, and what we're exposing our students to every day in class. So we have a new math program. This is the third year the district has used a program called Everyday Math. If you do the math counting backwards, no pun intended, we rolled this program out during COVID, right? And there was a lot of disruptions with the schedule, disruptions with absences. It was new, and staff is still learning how to implement this program with fidelity. And so what we're committing to here in Disney is each month we have a focus that we bring our staff together. We talk about point of emphasis within the math program, and we have conversations and we come up with ideas for how we can continue to learn and grow as we implement this program that's new to Walt Disney Elementary and Gates Chili as a district. Coming in as two new administrators, Mr. T and I are trying to anchor our staff in data-driven dialogue. We've created a protocol that we facilitate all of our meetings with whenever we're analyzing data with staff. This could be conduct data. It could be achievement data. It doesn't matter. Anytime we have numbers and we're trying to determine patterns over time to make decisions, we engage staff in the same protocol. We're hoping that by modeling this protocol in all of our meetings this year and next year, and then tweaking it and taking staff feedback for how we can make this protocol better, our hope is that this becomes the building protocol for when our teams of teachers are meeting without instructional leaders present in the years to come. We talk about progress monitoring in schools. Progress monitoring means taking a look at all of the achievement data points, how we're doing on math tests, how we're doing on the iReady diagnostic, how we're doing on the winter math benchmark, for example. It's taking a look at all those test scores and making sure that we're not just collecting data, we're sitting down, we're talking about the data, and we're talking about how to turnkey it into action and how to improve the data for the next cycle. That's what progress monitoring means in schools. So Mr. Tavaleris and I have committed to giving our teams of teachers a day every so many months to go through their data, to develop an action plan, to align it to learning standards, and to develop the resources that they need to fill any holes and remediate and reteach with their classrooms based on the data that they see. And then the next generation learning standards are now in effect in all 4 core content areas. That means we have new learning standards in ELA around 2017. They were implemented. New learning standards in math around 2017. Science is in its last year of phasing in the learning standards right now. And social studies is in year 2 or 3 of phasing in their new learning standards. And so anytime we have new standards, our curriculum changes a little bit, right? The nature of our instruction and how we teach material changes a little bit. And so it's making sure that we're giving our teacher leaders in our classrooms the supports that they need to identify what's new, what's different, and just some time to plan and reflect, how can I create engaging and meaningful lessons for our students aligned to these new learning standards. And then finally, some of you may be aware of our iReady program that we have here at Walt Disney Elementary and in Gates Chili as a district. iReady is a program that the students take 3 diagnostics a year. It gives us their placement of where they fall in their grade level according to learning standards. And we use an instructional component of it, which tells us, hey, we're falling short in this domain, or we're above average in this domain, and the computer runs a program and gives students learning experiences aligned to standards at their level so that they can continue to learn and grow. We had an awesome school-wide assembly the first week back after winter break. We brought everybody into the cafeteria. Our mascot, Spartacus, was there. We played a game show called The Spartan Way. A little bit of Family Feud, a little bit of Jeopardy was infused in there. And then at the end of the assembly, when we started talking about goal setting for the second semester, we used our iReady program as an example of what goal setting could be. And we said, hey, Dragons, we have a goal for you guys to consider. In iReady, when you log on to these computers every day, we want to make sure that we're logging in and doing it with a purpose. We want to make sure that we're being thoughtful and intentional and reflective about where we are, what we're learning, and where we need to go. And so these lessons that you're accomplishing every day on iReady, we've got a number for you. If you can complete and pass 4 iReady lessons a week for the rest of the year, we have a very special surprise. We collaborated with our Walt Disney Parent-Teacher Organization, and they have approved that if our Dragons meet their goal this spring, they will purchase a Gaga pit for our playground. This is exciting for a couple of reasons. It'll be the first time that we've expanded our playground since the new build happened. And Gaga Ball, for those of you that aren't aware, is all the rage these days. It's kind of like you're in this arena and it's a kickball, and the ball has to stay on the ground. You hit it with your hand, and if you get hit with the ball, you are out, and the last person standing wins. But if you hit somebody above the knees or something like that, you are out if you hit it. So it's like controlled kickball in an outdoor setting. The kids love it. They play it in parks all over, and our students that go to the GAP program, this is a big game in the GAP program. And so we're working towards that in the second semester. And then next steps, we're going to continue to look at our MTSS data collection processes. MTSS stands for multi-tiered systems of support. When we think about school and data that we collect, we have a lot more than just test scores, right? Test scores give us an academics perspective, attendance, behavior, social emotional learning. All of that stuff goes together to create a whole picture of a child, and we want to make sure that those the data we're collecting, we're not analyzing it in isolation, that we're giving our teams opportunities to have all of the data in front of them to make informed decisions to support the growth of the whole child. And then finally, I know you just got a crash course from me, kind of, in what iReady is, but Mr. Tavaleris and I do recognize that, families might not understand what iReady is. We write about it in our newsletter every month. We talk about it on the announcements every day in school. Meetings like this, we bring it up, but what is iReady? The next step in this is making sure that families are getting consistent communication home, common communication home, so that if you have a fourth grader and a first grader, it's being presented in the same way, and that we understand what the program is, what our kids are doing on the program, and what their achievement results say. So we're working on that as a team here in Disney, and we're hoping by the end of this year, we're able to rule something out so that all families know to expect iReady reports after our winter and spring diagnostics. So that's our 3 pillars. That's our updates. We're proud of the work that we're accomplishing here at Walt Disney every single day. We're definitely moving forward. But at this point, I will stop and take questions, ideas, comments, and feedback from those in attendance, if you have any. And if you're not in attendance and you're watching this video through the digest or on our website, you can always email me any ideas or call the office and set up an appointment. We're trying to make this process as transparent as possible so that we can all be involved in how our school operates at the center of our neighborhood. So with that, I will be quiet and take any questions if there are any. Nothing, Andrea? You got nothing for me? Andrea comes to enough meetings at the school. Okay, well then with that said, that concludes our school improvement team meeting this month. So thank you so much for attending. Thanks for watching this after the fact, and have a great night, everybody. We appreciate it.
Dr. Z.
Bye, Anthony. Take care,
Take
kiddo.
care.